So I don't know if you saw, if you want to have a bad day, if you're a progressive and you want to have a bad day, go look at Bernie Sanders' Twitter feed. Here's one. Here's one. This is from March 18th, 10:26 a.m. What's the date today?
19th.
I put the 18th in my morning pages.
It's like you lost a day.
It's like I lost a day. What will the $1,400 direct payments in the American Rescue Plan mean for you and your family? So, you know what this is? This is just straight up propaganda for the Democratic Party. And this is him soliciting, well, as she puts it, dude, no poverty porn from you. It's not okay. So that's what he's doing. He's soliciting poverty porn. He's soliciting people who are so down and out that $1,400 would change their life. I went to that Twitter thread, and it was all stuff like this. Nobody's life got changed. And by the way, I love the Twitter. This is what I call the Twitter appeasement. This is nice. It never gets old. I'm going to get a new laptop so I can read more nice tweets. That's what I'm going to do with my $1,400. How about that? Aaron says it means they lied about the $2,000. That's what it means. Or this guy says I can finally afford health insurance premiums only for a few months, and I can't afford to use it because of deductibles, but or maybe I'll put it aside and pay 7/8 of 1 month's rent. The possibilities are endless and very exciting, Bernie. Half of most of my rent, or $1,400, I'll pay half of most rent or my full year. Half of a month's rent or my full year of unpaid water bills, leaving my electric unpaid. $1,400 won't even cover the credit card payments for cards I've used to eat while Democrats diddled around. You all have left us out here to die, and $1,400 is throwing a thimble of water on a burning house. Yes, but tell me what that thimble will do for you and your family. So what I said, Graham, is it means that you all failed spectacularly again, Bernie, and Democrats will be the minority party in 2022, and he knows it and doesn't give a shit. He, like the Squad and the Justice Democrats, would do the right thing if it's easy, but if it's hard, they're not going to do it. Fuck you. They'll throw you and his movement under the bus and tell you that Joe Biden is like FDR. And he'll never force a vote for Medicare for all. He'll never do anything to make sure things happen. He'll never put a hold on a bill. He sold you out in the CARES Act. He got nothing for supporting Joe Biden. Nothing. What do you have to say, Graham, when you see Bernie Sanders ask people to tell him, what does $1,400 mean for you and your family? What does that make you think?
Well, first thing I think is I'm going to buy Bitcoin when I get mine.
Yeah.
And everyone should do that. Everyone should do that. You had Max Kaiser on. You know where Bitcoin's going. Like everybody has woken up to Bitcoin eventually. We've all been like, I don't know. And at some point, buy Bitcoin is my thing. If you can afford it, if you got bills to pay, I get it. But anyone out there listening, if you can even buy $500 of that a bit, do it. Do it. But for me, it's just like when I just I can't follow Bernie anymore. It's so disheartening. It was a year ago, right around this week, a year ago, where he backed out and quit.
Yes.
And I just, they've been trying to sell us this past week on this bill is pulling people out of poverty. No, it's not. It's the tax breaks for children are amazing. It's first of all, it's only temporary. It's a year. They're not going to make them permanent, right? So. Not to mention, I don't have kids. You guys don't have kids, so we don't get that benefit at all. And then there's no $15 an hour. $15 an hour would change people's lives, right? Medicare for all would change people's lives. Student debt forgiveness would change people's lives and infuse all these things too. Would also infuse trillions of dollars into the economy.
Demand side, that's called demand side economics. That's what FDR did. Put money in the pockets of working people, and then what do? They spend it. When you put money in the pockets of millionaires, they put it in offshore tax havens.
Yes, and It's literally like, and they're trying to sell, like, when they're like, when I heard the, like, people say, and of course the corporate media says this, and dumb, blue check neoliberals go along with, like, this is gonna uphold, this is gonna pull half of the country out of poverty or whatever. I have two responses to that. One, oh, so you could have done this whole time,
right?
So this you could have just fixed it all. That all could have been fixed right now, and you didn't. Well, that's weird. And more importantly, as I just outlined, you're not fixing poverty. $15 an hour, Medicare for all, and student debt forgiveness, those three things would change people's lives. And you could point to years from now, as we have done for decades with FDR, hey, look what Joe Biden did. And I'd be the first one to go, I don't like Joe Biden. I didn't vote for him. But you know what? Passing those three things, that's big. That's going to make everybody's lives better. That could actually turn things around. I'll give him credit. Instead, they just printed money.
They did nothing, but not printed money for us.
No.
Yeah.
No, not for us at all. They've extended unemployment through September. Okay, great, but that's going to stop it.
While lowering the benefit.
Right. They lowered the benefit. And there's people who, you listen to the rich people and that run Congress and on the media and everything, and they're like, oh, well, a lot of people just want to stay on unemployment. Yeah, because their jobs were so awful. This breadcrumb unemployment is actually better. Like, how horrible is that? And it's all they did was extend the fuse on the housing market bomb. That's all this did. So instead of the housing market collapsing like now or this summer, it'll end of the year, beginning of 2022. You can't keep kicking this down the road. They gave no rent relief to people. They gave no forbearance relief. They just said we can't kick you out of your house just yet.
Yes.
So that's going to happen.
Yeah, Graham. So nobody can. I've had on Dylan Radigan and people like that, and I ask them, why? What is in it for the government? What is in it for Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden? And what is in it for them not to give people COVID relief like the rest of the world is giving their own people? If they shut down your business, they don't make you file unemployment. They just pay your salary. Why aren't they doing that? And why won't they give everybody Medicare? Like, why are they pretending like it's coming out of their pocket? Nobody has an answer. And well, here's my answer. We found out after the 2009 financial crisis what the real plan was. You think they have a plan to help you during COVID. Just like we thought they had a plan to help you save your house during the 2009 Wall Street crash. They didn't. Their plan was the exact opposite. The plan, as Dave Dayen and Matt Taibbi revealed, the plan was literally to make you lose your house, not help you keep your house and stabilize our economy. The plan was to make you lose your house so they could give your house to their creditor. Who's the creditor? Wall Street, Steve Mnuchin. That's who they gave people's houses to. It wasn't a bug of the bailout. It was a feature, as Dave Dayen wrote. That was a feature that was planned. That's how nefarious it was. And the reason why nobody was ever prosecuted for it is because the people who were supposed to prosecute you designed it. Eric Holder, not Larry Summers, but Geithner. They designed it. And so that's what they're doing now. The reason why they won't give you a minimum wage and the reason why they won't give you COVID relief and they're screwing you over on your unemployment is because they don't want you to make your mortgage payment. They want to take your house and give it to your creditor. Jimmy, I'm a renter. Why wouldn't they? Because they want your landlord to miss his payment so they could give the apartment building to the creditor. They don't give a shit. This sounds, Jimmy, a little too nefarious and a little too cynical. This is exactly what they did in 2009, 2010. Exactly. They would tell people to not pay their mortgage so that they could get them a government relief, knowing that would trigger a default on their mortgage. And they didn't prosecute one person for that.
That's how they stole my home 10 years ago.
That's how they got my brother's house. That's how they got everybody's house. They told you, we're going to save your house. Don't pay your mortgage, and then we'll get you into this program, knowing that was a lie and knowing that would trigger a default process on your mortgage, that you would go into foreclosure. And they wanted that to happen. Why? Because they get your property.
look, my property specifically, and I'm sure this has happened with your brothers and the 5 to 6 million people that went through foreclosure. So for me specifically, as I've said before in your show, I lived in a nice neighborhood in Santa Monica, and they bought my loan. One West Bank at the time, headed by Steve Mnuchin, bought my loan and thousands of others from IndyMac for about 30 to 40 cents on the dollar. So even though the value of my home had gone down, it didn't matter to them because, they only own, they bought 30%, they got the debt for 30%, for a 70% discount, basically. So evicting me was the smartest thing they could do because then they sold the house again. And so they made a profit. And that's what they did with millions of people. And so this time around, a year ago, I was like, I ain't falling for it this time. And I tried, and I said it on my show numerous times. I'm like, be careful. And I saw it. We all saw it a year ago. We're all like, here they're doing it again. Only now it's even more nefarious, Jimmy, because now it's not just your home, your single family house. It's commercial real estate as well. Yes. I mean, they want it all. And one of the big companies that they did this in California, again, another thing Kamala Harris, when she was Attorney General, could have prosecuted and didn't. A lot of the homes that were bought up, the Cash for Keys program, they were bought up by management companies because they rented these all because they know they crunched the numbers and said people can't afford to buy houses, but they still need to rent them. So now they just want more rental property that they can sell. And that's what they're going to do again, only now they're going to do it with commercial real estate as well. And no one will be held accountable because look, the billionaires have made record profits this last year. Record profits.
Record.
So they've cleaned up somewhere in the neighborhood of, you add up all the billionaires' profits, it's over $1 trillion that they've made in the last 12 months. And we're supposed to go, thanks for $1,400, Bernie, and everybody else. And it's just like, and again, other countries just gave small businesses money. I know Australia, they didn't give them a PPP loan or an SBA loan. They said, here's the money. Just do it. And if you read they offered me an SBA loan, and I read the fine print because I wasn't going to get screwed over this time. And they said, any loan over $25,000, your business is now collateral. And I'm like, oh, so that's how they're going to buy up all the small businesses. And that's how they're going to do it. I read the fine print. I was like, and I told my audience, I said, read the fine print, man. If you be careful, because that's how they're going to snatch it up. I was just looking for the scam this time. And that's why I was like, fine. And I got there, and I started buying Bitcoin, and I'm on Rockfin as you are, and I get paid in crypto. And I've been telling my audience, get involved in crypto. It's the only time in history where regular people can amass wealth. It's the only time. It's like one of the only times this has ever been able to happen. So like, I go, get out of the central banks. I paid off my debt. The hell with them. They're an evil, corrupt system. And people go, well, Bitcoin mining takes a lot of energy. Yeah, it does. And we need to, maybe use more solar panels for it, whatever. But you're trying to tell me that the Wall Street system is less harmful for the planet? Like,
so let's get back to your everything you're saying is correct. Let's go to back to the Bernie Sanders tweet about, hey, tell us how it's going to help your family to get a $1,400 one-time payment. First of all, to tweet that out, you're just a jerk. That's just, there's no other way to say it. It's like, Bernie, that's not an oversight. And I'm sure Bernie didn't do it himself. I'm sure it was a staff member.
Right.
But you got to take responsibility for your main social media posts. Come on. This guy says, shouldn't the squad be tweeting things like it was supposed to be $2,000 as promised to Georgia voters, or this one-time payment isn't enough? We needed monthly payments through this pandemic and must do it now to help people get back on their feet. That's what they should be tweeting. But they're not. Pramila Jailpel has the balls to tweet this. I need to hear from all of you. Reply and let me know what Medicare for All would mean for you. Wow. You know what? People who can't afford their own medicine don't have time to tweet to you. I don't know. What would it mean why don't you ask them, what would it mean if I actually did something and lifted a finger to try to get Medicare for All for you? What if I actually did something? Because she'll never do fucking anything. It's her own bill, and she won't do anything. It's her own bill. and she just reintroduced it. Isn't it weird? Because 2 weeks ago, she gave an interview saying why forcing a vote on Medicare for all would just set it back. Well, why are you reintroducing it? Because they're all liars. They've all been, as Chris Hedges says, they've all been emasculated by the party. They've all sold out. That's a real tweet from her. That's mean. I don't know. Would you say that's cruel? I sound like Andrew Cuomo. That's just mean. But that seems like you want to rub it in people's fucking faces that you're not doing anything to try to help them. That's what that feels like. Remember when the old days, Graham, when a politician wanted to gaslight you, they'd had to hold a press conference? Yeah. Now all they do is they just tweet.
It's so right out of just the Democratic Party's playbook in general. But now we're really seeing how this is their playbook 2.0 with the tweet squad is they won't do force the vote, which would have probably gotten us Medicare for all. They won't force it in the new stimulus plan. They could have said this stimulus plan has to have it. I'm not signing the bill. They could have been very loud about this. But this is this is just exactly what they want. So they've forced the vote, and Jimmy's mean and he's violent and meow 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 meow. Now they can introduce. This is perfect. They can introduce a bill that won't get passed.
That won't get voted on.
It won't even get voted on.
It won't even get a vote.
We tried to keep introducing the bill, and I don't know what happens. It's more of the theatrics of the Democratic Party pretending that they give a shit. And suckers on Twitter that follow the tweet squad are going to go, yeah, she's fighting for us. And it's like, all right, man, keep drinking that blue Kool-Aid because they don't give a shit. Because let me tell you something. AOC with 12 million Twitter followers could actually demand, she could get Medicare for all with one tweet. Protest now. Everybody call, protest until we get Medicare for all.
Everybody show up at the Capitol Saturday at noon. We're going to surround the Capitol. We're going to stay there until we get Medicare for all.
Done deal.
She's got 12 million Twitter followers. She could do that. Bernie Sanders could do that. They're never, ever going to mobilize their followers. Ever. AOC said, you guys need to mobilize now for student debt relief. That's all. She didn't say, hey, here's my plan to mobilize you. She goes, you need to do it. What the fuck? Yes, Graham. Yes. Here's one more. Here's one more tweet. Didn't you, this is someone talking to Representative Pramila Jayapal, didn't you and your staff write the damn Medicare for All bill? Then you know already what it will mean to us. Stop tweeting and start playing hardball to get us Medicare. There's already consensus. We all know it's a travesty that we don't have Medicare for all, especially in a pandemic. The real question is, why aren't your colleagues representing the interests of their constituents? Call them out and make them answer questions. She'll never do it, ever. Here's Kamala Harris. About 2.5 million women have been forced out of the workforce during the pandemic. The American Rescue Plan provides relief to women and families with $1,400 payments, a $3,000 child tax credit, and funding to safely reopen schools and childcare. It's time for the Senate to act. Wow. She really cares, Ron. She really cares. She's not going to give you a living wage. She's not going to give you health care. She's going to give you a one-time $1,400 payment, which is an abandonment of the American people. That's what that is. Here she goes. She goes, I'm proposing, this is from May 11th. So that's from March 2nd, Graham. This is from last year in May. She said, I'm proposing $2,000 monthly payments throughout the pandemic and for 3 months after, because rent and bills are still due during the crisis and people are going hungry. It's that basic. And then nope, 14 one time, fuck off. What? I thought it was basic. So you're not even doing the basic shit. But they are strong tweeters, Graham. The progressives, the Democrats, Bernie Sanders, they are strong tweeters who will never, ever lift a fucking finger to help you. If it's easy, Bernie Sanders, if Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer say Bernie can do something for you, he'll do it. If Joe Biden says Bernie can't do something for you, he will not only not do it, but tell you you're wrong to think he should. And he should tell you, be thankful you're getting $1,400 from Joe Biden. Instead of Bernie fucking raking Joe Biden and the Democrats over the coals for abandoning us and trying to push Joe Biden left, he is doing interference for the establishment and the corporation. That's what Bernie Sanders is doing, and the squad. Congratulations. You're making me look like a genius. I'd rather not. I'd rather see Bernie Sanders actually lift a finger and fight. I'd rather see the squad actually fight. Ro Khanna actually fight. They'll never do it. Ever. Because they all want to ascend in the party, and they've all been emasculated, and their nuts are all in Nancy Pelosi's purse. And shame on any YouTube host who doesn't have the balls to call them out. Like, you can be a cuck like Cenk Uygur and beg them to do the right thing. I'm asking lovingly, do what you're supposed to do. Wow. Did you see that video, by the way, Graham? Did you see that video of Cenk Uygur?
No, I couldn't watch it. I'm done with that clown. He's a jackass. I don't care. I've never seen anybody waste a platform more in my life. Literally, if I had 5 million viewers, I would be organizing a general strike right now. I got 78,000. YouTube has demonetized me. You know, I'm paying my bills. I'm grateful I get to do this, but I have no power. I have no power, Jimmy. I have none. And you have a little bit more power than me, but ultimately we don't have that much power. Like I can't, if I had 5-10 million people following me, I would be organizing strikes. I would be pushing a labor movement, and I would make it, you have to deal with me, establishment.
That's right.
You have to.
I got 100,000 people, Graham. I got 100,000 people to a forced to vote town hall.
Yes. Yes.
Nobody showed up to. I mean, Bernie Sanders didn't show up. AOC, Pramila Jayapal, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley. None of them showed up.
None of them.
100,000 people. None of them showed up.
I mean,
where's Cenk? Are you going to do it? Where's your pressure campaign to get them to do something? It's never coming.
Jimmy, they didn't show up. They didn't show up because they got pay-go.
They got pay-go, Graham. That Anna Kasparian will tell you they got pay-go. And I know it's not sexy, and I know it's not actually anything, and I know I'm stupid to be telling you this, and I know everyone sees through me except me.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is they're like, you guys are too hard on AOC and Bernie and everything. I'm like, do you think I want to do this? You know what I'd rather be doing? Talking about President Bernie Sanders is doing another. We supported these people. We supported them. I want Medicare for all. I don't give a fuck. If you said, Graham, we're going to get Medicare for all, student debt forgiveness, $15 an hour. And by the way, I already got a college degree, so I don't need student debt forgiveness. I got a job. I don't need $15 an hour minimum wage. I could definitely use Medicare for all. If you said, Graham, I'm going to give you all these things, stop being a political YouTuber and just go back to being a comedian, I'd go, fucking done deal, baby. Where do I sign? I don't want to do this. This is stressful. Why do you think I start doing a goddamn game show again? Because I'm going to have a heart attack at age 51. These people are horrible. A little over a year ago, there was all this hope in the air in January. Like, oh man, Bernie won the 3. Well, here we go. Wait a minute now. And then this week, a year ago, Bernie's like, hey, my good friend, I'm going to sell out and I'm going to tweet my life away. I don't care about their tweets. Tweeting doesn't change laws. And it's like, how dumb. A lot of it, I got to put, we got to call out the ruling class to a certain extent, but I'm sorry, American people. Some of you I don't know how much more bullshit and lies do you need? When are Americans going to when is it going to happen? When is it going to wake up? When are you going to do this? When is the big revolution? It's not going to happen. I thought that this country was going to implode. It's not. We're just going to limp along, and liberals are going to call us out, get mad at us, and let this crap happen. I mean, I've taken more shit from liberals than in my entire life. And I've said Trump is a Nazi asshole on my show, and the MAGA hat people don't care. I mean, they're just like, all right, fine. I'm like, those hillbilly Nazis that took over the Capitol need to be put down. Well, that's the MAGA people don't mind, but I'm like, Joe Biden should stop bombing Syria and give us Medicare for all. Graham, he had to. Oh, It's staggering to me, but just keep reading their tweets and going, "You're our hero." I don't know what world Americans are living in. That it's an insane asylum. America's a death cult.
Yes, it is. I would have to agree with you. We're a nation of adult children of alcoholics, and people don't understand what that means when I say that. One of the hallmarks of an adult child of an alcoholic is that they have misplaced loyalties. And they don't get angry at the person who's abusing them. They get angry at the person who points out that they're being abused. And that's what we've experienced at this channel. So we've been showing you how you're being screwed over by the Justice Democrats, Bernie Sanders. They're not doing what they're telling you. And, of course, the regular corporate Democrats, which gets me hated by half of Hollywood. And then I tell you the truth about the squad, Justice Democrats and Bernie, and that gets me hated by the other half of Hollywood. So they've got their heads up their asses that the artists in America are doing art for the corporation. They can't wait to prop up the establishment, because that's what you're doing. When you pledge your vote to Joe Biden and demand nothing for it, you're propping up an evil, pro-war, anti-worker, racist, right-wing government. That's Joe Biden's government. So when you pledge your vote for him and extract nothing for it, this is the world you get. So shame on all those people who voted for Joe Biden and didn't make one demand on him for their vote. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.